Good morning all. Welcome to Thursday's Rugby Chat, where we bring you all the starting lineups for this weekend's Super Rugby. We also will have a look at the NPC and some other gossip around the world of what's happening in the rugby. And of course, before we start the show, big shout out to Josh and the team down there at Franz Joseph Foursquare for sponsoring the show. Get down there if you can on your horseback or on your back of your sheep, because you can't drive. So get down there and get all that fake cheese now we have to buy here in New Zealand that doesn't melt like it used to. So, yeah, it's all on today, and we've got a special guest, part of the alumni of WFR. Welcome, Mr. Rody. How are you, brother?
The artist formerly known as the Winger.
I know. What a great jersey you have on there.
It is, mate. Legendary. Coming to you from the studios, of course, of Rocket FM in Port Chalmers. Yes, indeed. It's a legendary jersey. Only probably, how many would there be in the world? 15, 16?
I think there was only 15. Yeah, maybe 15 or 10, something like that.
Yeah. And we can say we played against Mark Ellis and Jamie Joseph. We can say we played against them.
Well, you didn't say we won or anything like that, but we gave it a good crack. And I'll tell you what, the whiskey bottle got a good shakedown on the sideline too by the player, coach, manager, and owner. But so there's his website, rocketfm.co.nz. Best music online. Go and head out there and listen to Rhodey's music. And he has some great interviews with real people who sing real music. So get along, listen to it online, put it on your headphones. It's a great show. Well done, Rhodey. So what have we got on this weekend? Well, we have got, if I can bring that up, first off, we'll just have a look at the ladder. And what I have to say is, compared to last year, one good team there stands out, and they're in yellow and black. They were in 8th place this time last year. It's currently sitting on top of the table, and the Evil Empire, well, they seem to be wanting to follow the Hurricanes. They're in 2nd place, up from 9th this time last year.
And it doesn't hurt to have different teams leading the round robin every year. It's nice to see, because we did get into not so much recently, but remember we got into a groove back in the day where it was Brumbies, Crusaders, Blues, Brumbies, Crusaders, Blues. But it's nice to see that at the moment the Hurricanes and the Blues are leading the competition there. The Brumbies are still there, though. That's interesting.
Yes, and of course we've been saying it all season, watching the slide of the Waratahs. We were wondering when it was going to begin, because, like this time last year, they were up in 2nd and then started sliding. This year they were up in 2nd, and now they're out of the top 6.
And it's weird, because they've got some very good players in that team this year.
They certainly have.
Jorgensen and a few others like that, and it's what's going on?
Well, you could argue injuries and all that, but they still have some good players. So they went around all the other Aussie teams and brought the best out of them.
You mean the Australian Rugby Union did what it does every year, just mixed up the players around the teams just to keep the 4 teams? You mean?
Yeah, to try and combat the ever-present Brumby, but the Brumbies are just too good. They always have, and my scariest team in the whole competition have always been, as a Hurricanes fan. So, but anyway, that is how it stands at the moment. And, of course, this week all kicks off on Friday night up there at North Harbour with Moana taking on the Highlanders. We've got the Brumbies then taking on the Waratahs after that. And then on Saturday afternoon here, we've got the Hurricanes taking on the Reds at Wellington Stadium or Henry Stadium or whatever stadium the sponsor is now. And then we've got at the formerly known as the National Stadium, Eden Park, because we've got a new National Stadium in Christchurch.
When was it ever known as the National Stadium? There's only some Aucklander stuck it on the wall.
Oh, someone brought a billboard and stuck it up there. But the Colin Mainsbridge from the Crusaders, loving his work, promoting the new stadium to Kaha as the new national stadium. Well done. Bloody awesome. Every time he gets a chance to say it, he does. And of course, that's Australia time, 4:35, which is about 9:30 New Zealand time here. The Force will be taking on the Chiefs. So we'll just jump straight into it and get our predictions for the round. We'll go to the team lists. Now, I've been quite busy working on something behind the scenes. So I've nicked the team lists this week off the, what do you call it? The Super Rugby. And so we've got, we'll start with the Moana Pacifica, the forwards there. We've got Abraham Pole, Millennium Cerruti, Feliti, Vacoso, Alan Craig, Miracle, Nico Jones, the son of the one and only Michael Jones, and Dominic Ropata, or Ropati. And then in the Highlanders, Ethan de Groot, Jack Taylor, Angus Tarvell, Oliver Hay, Thomas Lavavini. Yay, he gets a second game. TK Howden, Lasanga, and Hugh Renton. And then in the backs, we've got Joe Lamb, Jackson Garden Bishop, Glenn Vaihu, Lamilo, Latu, Alamalo, and Havili. And in the Highlanders, we have Pazitoa, which I'm out on. Nariki, Talia, Jonah Lowe, Tangatau, and Jacob, only because I always balls up his surname. So, with that, you look at the bench, of course, you know, and we've got Molly, Palai, Latu, Aho, Nivalingi, Inga, Pellegrini on the bench, and then you can't see it, but the last one there is Tavita Ofa. And then on the bench for the Highlanders, we've got Henry Bell, Daniel Leonard-Brown, Wingham, Stoddard, Withy, Lennox, Newstub, and Tavanawai. So, how many points are the Highlanders going to win this by, Brody?
Are they going to win it at all? It looks to me like they're kind of just going, oh, it's just Moana Pacific. We'll make a lot of changes. And I don't know that that's the right way to go about it. Moana's been thrashed the last couple of weeks, yes, but they've also had some good wins this season. And I'm not sure that, you know, the Highlanders are taking the right approach there. They might get caught out.
Yeah, I mean, it's great to see Lavavini back in there.
You know, they've changed their backline quite considerably there, and it's a bit of a, it's almost like a, oh, we know you're not very good to the Pacifica, which, I don't know.
But that's been the theme this year, hasn't it? Against these lower ranked teams. If you look at what, you know, the Brumbies and the Hurricanes and even the Reds who got out of jail against Fiji Drua last week. Then they're trying to say, okay, here we go. We'll give Tavanawai a rest on the bench. And if Talia balls us up, because Jonah Lowe will be okay. But if Talia balls us up, at least we can bring on Tavanawai, right?
Yeah. I mean, good luck to the Highlanders, but you know, I've got to say they've been choking a lot recently, and dare I throw it out there that all the noise for Jamie Joseph is all that coach. Perhaps he's not very good without his mate Tony Brown, because these guys aren't performing for him, are they?
No, and of course I know what you're talking about there, and between you and a certain gentleman, God, it's been fun reading you guys bitching on the private group. Oh my God, it's been hilarious.
The Highlanders should win this, but I'm just, you know, looking at, I mean, they've made some changes here, and there's some combinations that haven't played together in the back line, and the Pacific is pretty much the same team. So, I mean, it'll be close, I think, if they do win, but I'm saying maybe Moana Pacifica get a win this week.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm going to go the Highlanders to win by 20 points, only because I love their forward pack, and I think, I mean, Miracle and that's been going okay, but the thing is, where's Tom, what's his face? The Englishman.
Tom, what's his face? Is that a good Islander name as well? What's his face?
Yeah, but yeah, but anyway, no, I mean, because I'm after to see a big game from Ethan de Groot, because last week I was watching him and just going, there's something not right with Ethan de Groot.
He's probably playing through an injury. And
I know, you know, it's a bit like Devin Flanders with the Hurricanes. Every time he gets the ball and they go Flanders, I just subconsciously blurt out Ned. I go, Ned, right?
It's got to be his nickname, eh?
It's got to be his nickname. It's got to be. But with Ethan de Groot, when he gets the ball, I subconsciously also for him go, Groot, right?
I never thought of that.
Yeah. What's your name? Groot, right? But I haven't said that about him all season. You know? So to me, he's there. And I mean, and after he got that knock last week, did you notice how he kept on dropping his bloody elbow on the ground? He just wasn't there. They should have taken him off because he gave away too many free kicks and penalties.
Yeah, but
after he got the knock.
The scrums are a mess. Scrums are a mess now. They've tinkered with the rules so much. It's almost not a scrum anymore, eh? I mean,
no.
I've been watching old NPC games from the 90s that I've converted to DVD, and you wouldn't even recognise the scrums. The ball goes in under the hooker's feet. They actually scrum. This what they're doing now is not scrumming. It's just
no. And what I'd like to know is, I'm sure I read at the start of the season they had said that they were going to actually feed the scrum. No more of this going into the second row, you know, because we're still seeing it.
We've got a generation of hookers who've never hooked the ball. Seriously, you know, it's the scrums are a pale reflection of what they once were, and it's kind of, you know, you watch those old games and they just let the front rows get on with it and sort themselves out, right? And it's almost go back to that. These guys are the top guys in the world, right? Let them sort themselves out. All this depowering it, just I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, the referee for this game will be Damon Murphy. Unsure exactly where he's from, but he must be good enough for a Super Rugby game. So you're going Moana Pacifica to win by 7 and under?
Oh yeah, I'd say so. If they win, it'll be 7 and under.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go for the Highlanders. I'm going to stick with the blue and gold in my blood, and say that they'll win by 20.
Don't get me wrong. I live in Highlanders territory. I've been just watching what they've been doing and the team and the changes. I just think the changes showing no respect to Moana, and Moana's hurting from the last couple of weeks. They'll be wanting to get one on someone. Highlanders might have made a mistake, is what I'll say.
The thing is, as well, the Highlanders are playing in front of the new attack coach defensive coach for the All Blacks, Mr. Tana Umanga.
Very true. Very true. We'll see how good his defence is, won't we?
Yeah, but then how good the Highlanders' defence will be to say hello, and Ethan de Groot by going hello. And I've got to give a congratulations to the West Coast and Buller ex-player and West Coast ex-assistant coach Jason Ryan for surviving the cull.
It's an interesting team he's put together.
It certainly is. But anyhow, we'll move on to the next one because, as I said, the next game is, of course, the Australia A versus Australia B. And, and of course, the referee here for this match is Agnes Gardner, who, man, he's a good referee, isn't he? After he got bloody taken out by Hugh Renton last week. And then went, I've been hurt. I've been hurt.
Ref hurt.
And then, of course, they take time out. You're waiting for him to get sorted out. And then he just went, I'm fine. Let's carry on. But
the whole thing was good because there was no overreaction. You know, play in other sports, you see, someone touches a referee and they go over the top, you know. I mean, we know it was an accident, but, you know, there was no, let's look into it and see what happened. He got nicked on the way past, right? He got in the wrong place. But he didn't make a big deal over it. He just got himself seen to, got back on his feet, and bloody good on him, you know?
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, but with the Brumbies anyway, I mean, they, you know, they'll be after another performance like they had against the Chiefs last weekend. The Chiefs, how good are they? But we'll come to them in a minute. So this starting lineup: James Slipper, Billy Pollard, Breen, Shaw, Neville, Valentini, Rory Scott, Charlie Cale, Lonergan and Meredith restart this game after having a rest against the Chiefs on the bench. Corey Toole, who got that awesome intercept, Fiula, Pritchard, Sapsford, and Andy Muirhead. And on the bench, they got Liam Barron, Blake Shute, Alatini, Toby McPherson, Luke Raymer, Clayton Thorne, Tane Edward, who is to me a clone of Finley Christie, and Hudson Crichton.
He played for the Waratahs last year. Why isn't he playing for him again this year? This is what I'm saying. They just mix it up and guys get put on benches. It's just, yeah.
I know. It's, they move around so much. The Waratahs, though, I mean, they're looking at sort of trying to bounce back after their slide in recent weeks. I mean, the only players there that stand out for me is Pete Samu at 8, Jake Gordon, who could give Lonergan a run for his money. Max Jorgensen against Oddie Satsford will be a great battle on the wings, along with Corey Toole and Andrew Callaway. Still out on this young kid at number 15, Sid Harvey. And, of course, on the bench, they've got Whionga, Jack Barrett, no relation, Amoni, Angus Blythe, Charlie Gamble, Angus Scott Young, Teddy Wilson, and Tristan Riley. So, I mean, give us your thoughts as well. Throw them in the comments.
I reckon the Brumbies are going to win this. They're just too. I mean, I know they move players around a lot, but you have a look at that Brumbies team. It's a core that they seem to be able to keep together. They're one of the few teams that seem to be able to keep a core together, and I think they're going to be too strong, unfortunately, for the Waratahs, because I like Jorgensen. Jorgensen's been playing bloody well. So Samu, but I think the Brumbies will put about 10 or 12 on them, I think.
Well, the other sort of side note to this game as well is a awesome presentation to James Slipper last week, beating Wyatt Crockett's record, and Wyatt Crockett being there to pass on the mantle. How good was that?
But I didn't realise how big Wyatt Crockett was as a prop, He was huge. I didn't realise he was tall.
Yeah, and James Slipper even mentioned that. He goes, I've only just realised that you're much bigger than me.
He could have played in the second row. He's that big. Jeez.
I know. But the side story to this is this will be James Slipper's 100th game for the Brumbies.
Wow.
So another presentation, and he is the first Super Rugby player to play 100 games for 2 different franchises.
Okay.
He played 104 games for the Queensland Reds, and now he's knocking on the door of 100 games for the ACT Brumbies.
I forgot that he played for the Reds. He's been with the Brumbies for a few years now, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So he played for Queensland and then buggered off to the Brumbies and restarted his career. So, and he, on top of his 151 caps for the Wallabies, he's going to increase on that, isn't he? He's got to be a shoo-in for the Wallabies this year.
How old is he? 55?
I think he's about 38 or 36.
He must have started with Queensland quite young, did he?
Yeah. So, I think they said he's been in it for 14 years, and he started, so he'd be about 37, 38.
Yeah.
But they do nothing in the scrum now. You know that. It's been depowered.
Well, I mean, and to be fair, that's probably why a lot of these props are lasting as long as they are, because the scrums are different to the old days, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, gone are the days where you play 30 games and then you toast.
Yeah. Yep.
So, okay, well, I'm going to go to the Brumbies to win this by 13 plus.
Right.
Do you agree?
Well, I reckon they'll win by about 12, 10 to 12.
10 to 12. All right.
Yeah. I think the Waratahs will play all right, but I just don't think they'll have enough in them, you know.
But then we've got a big game, and with the Reds, I mean, they're coming off their win in Fiji. The Hurricanes, though, doing it well. They've named a strong lineup with Umia, Lomax, Delaney, Warner-Dearns, Ned Flanders, Karifi, Larkai, Roygard, Love, Fihi, Geordie Barrett, Proctor, Sullivan, Morby. I mean, they're up against Aidan Ross, Nasser, Bloomfield, Uru, Salakai Latu, Bryle. Mick Wright is back in the starting lineup after a week off. Harry Wilson, Wershon, who's interesting me at the moment at scrum half. Keep an eye on him. McLaughlin Phillips, Ryan, Paisami, Henry, Filippo, and Jock Campbell. In the reserves, who's coming off the bench? Vernon Basson, who I thought we're going to see a lot more, and it's about time he got his Super Rugby call up from the Manawatu. Lawaki, Tossi, Walker Laweri, Iosi, who's not a bad player to bring off a bench. Inari, who's here, just seems to be getting longer. Cashmore and Rover. And then on the bench for the Reds, we've got Richie Iasati, George Blake, Tumunga Allen, Muller, Latu Thomas, Tom Liner, and Trevon Pritchard. If I look at this, the first thing I think of is the Hurricanes are going to win this. It's not because I'm a Hurricane fan. I just look at that squad compared to the Reds and go.
Once again, it's combinations together. You know, like the Red squad, there's a lot of names here that are new or haven't played together. That Hurricanes team's been together a while. And I'll tell you right now, if it was me picking the All Blacks, the number 9 and 10 in the Hurricanes would be the All Blacks number 9 and 10. There you go.
Oh, totally.
As a combination. But I don't think that'll happen. But just looking at the combination, you've got your 9 and 10 there, your midfield, your forward pack. That forward pack's been together, most of it, a long time as well. So, I mean, they should dominate that Queensland team. They really should.
They should. And the weather is there's showers in the morning, partly cloudy, strong northerlies, easing in the afternoon. So there's going to be a bit of rain overnight, bit wet underfoot, but it's meant to be by kick-off at 4:30 a fine day. So, but yeah, the Hurricanes, I mean, it's good to see Ruben Love back. I mean, he had a great game, I thought, last week. Peter
Larkai for me is outstanding this year as well. Absolutely outstanding, number 8. Yeah.
And Warner-Dearns, I mean, Christ, 2 meters 3. He's taller than Skylab was for Australians. I mean, he's got 3 centimeters taller. And it just goes to show, if you have some tall timber in that line out, you got to win 99.9% of your throw-ins. Or you should.
You should, yeah. And the thing is, he's athletic with it. He's like Cutler. He can get around the field. He's like Eels and Cutler. He can get around the field. He's not just a big guy. You know?
Yeah. He has got that athleticism about him, indeed. Not bad for the Japanese captain. And Morby, I mean, he's just shown that he's playing really, really well there at fullback as well. So expect a majority of this squad to be in Rennie's All Black initial squad.
Love needs to be at 10. The last, and not just Razor, the last couple of All Black coaches have mucked around with that guy. He needed to be at 10. That's where he's playing his best rugby, at 10 for the Canes. That's why I'm saying, if you were picking the team honestly, I'd have Rugard and Love as the All Black number 9 and 10 combination.
Oh, totally. So anyway, I'm going to go the Hurricanes to win this, only because it's, we're up against the Queensland Reds and they will feel a little bit confident. But I'm going to go the Canes to take this out by 12 points. Again, if you disagree, throw it in the comments.
No, I'd agree
with you. No, I'm talking to the rest of the world.
I'd say at least 12. To be fair.
At least 12. Yeah.
They could well run away with that.
Oh, I know. It's crazy.
Even though the Reds are sitting in fourth, right? It's interesting that they are sitting in fourth on the table, but you know what I mean? It's hard. The Canes have been playing such good football. You'd expect that they would dominate them, but I mean, it's an odd sort of table this year anyway. So yeah.
Well, the thing is, they're scoring the tries as well, aren't they? They're pumping the points, and it's almost like they've been told, go and get 50.
Yep.
If you can't get as close as you bloody can.
Yep.
And this is why I'm so annoyed at the way they mucked around with that game in Fiji.
Yeah.
Against the Drua. Because they should never have lost that, but they did the old, well, give the other guys a run and give everyone a rest.
That's what I'm saying to you about That's what I'm saying to you about that Highlanders Moana game. I'm just not sure that's the right approach, but there you go.
Yeah. So, okay, so we're both going the Canes anyway to deal to the koalas of Queensland. And so then we come to the Evil Empire versus the Fijian Drua, playing for the Jolie Vinderi Memorial Trophy, which is a great honour. Well, it's got to be Fiji Drua all day, isn't it?
Oh,
I mean, they're going to win the spectator count for a start. They're going to fill up at least one block of seats at the national, once known as the National Stadium. They're going to outnumber all the Blues fans who think they're there for a Warriors game. Or there will be a few guys hungover from the football that's on Friday when New Zealand take on Finland.
Haven't left the
they fell asleep in the seats, and after there'll be more people, I reckon, at the soccer. Here we go. Good comparison here. Let's see how many people are there to watch New Zealand play Finland at Eden Park on Friday, and how many people are at the Blues playing Fiji Drua on the Saturday.
Well, it's simpler than that for me, right? It's simpler than that for me. I got red and black running through my veins, buddy, and I will never, ever back the Blues. I don't care if the Blues were playing the Porirua 5th grade team. I'll still back the Porirua 5th grade team.
I'm loving having you on the show today. It's been far too long between drinks. You must be on holiday.
I am.
But the thing is, I mean, if the Fiji Drua have found their passports, right, they are good. I mean, Frank Lamani up against Fernaki. Lamani's winning that all day, every day. Longa Masai, if he can sort out Caleb Clark on the wing, or actually who's he up against? He's up against Cole Forbes.
All you got to do with Clark is do what you do with his old man, right?
Yeah, get
on the outside of him, and he'll cut back in like his old man did. Remember his old man used to cut back in. You watch Caleb Clark. If they get the defence on the outside of him, he cuts back in every time. Yep.
Oh, I know. And then Joessi at fullback against Peyton Spencer. No disrespect to Peyton Spencer, but Joessi's been playing really well from fullback for the Drua. I just think that Glenn Jackson has said to them, let's target this game. I don't know why. I'm just thinking he has said, let's target this game. Let's get our bloody away. Because I tell you what, at home, pretty much, okay, they got beaten last week, but pretty much unbeatable at home, right?
Look,
they're going to have the crowd behind them here. They want to put on a performance. There'll be more Drua shirts in the crowd than blue shirts in the crowd. They're going to be making a hell of a noise. Win or lose, they'll be making a noise. But I'm going to go the Drua to win by 7. There we go.
The only issue I have is if it's the weather up there cuts in, it doesn't bode well for their type of play. The Fijians love to throw it around. That's what they've got to do. They've got to get the ball right, just get enough ball and not make mistakes when they go out wide. But if the weather closes in up there, it might backfire on them because I don't know if their forward pack be good enough in the tight, but who knows? I mean, And mind you, wet weather. What's Bowden Barrett going to do? He's going to kick the ball all day, so maybe they've got a chance of running it back.
So you do bring up a good point. I mean, at the moment, it's raining in Auckland, so it will be on the news tonight because it's raining.
Yeah.
And I saw just before we came to air that there was a landslide on Tamaki Drive. Well, okay, is it as bad as Mount Maunganui? I don't know. But the thing is, everything is quadrupleized up there. If it is raining on Saturday, if the rain has, because it might have passed by then, because they said 3 days of this rain, but if it's still raining, you'd have to put a lazy fiver on the bloody Drua, wouldn't you, at 20-1?
Yeah. I mean, the Blues are doing where they are in the table, but you have a look. They've had some terrible losses. They've been bloody, when they have been beaten, they've been beaten terribly. So I mean, it's they're second on the table, but they're not infallible. You know what I mean?
I know. Yeah, you can, and that's what I'm saying. You can jump straight in, and of course, again, these guys will be all wanting to impress all the whole new coaching squads and all that sort of stuff. I mean, the referee, Ruben Keane, don't know much about him, how he's going to run the match, but it will be interesting. But as I said, there's no way in living hell I would be, even if it was the Blues taking on the Blues development side, I would say my pick would be on the TMO.
If it was the team that had that 80-year-old guy on the news last night who's still playing in the UK, playing the Blues, I'd still back that team, and I'd back the 85-year-old to score a try against them. I would never back the Blues.
Yeah, well, the great thing about him is they keep bringing him out every year after he's had a birthday, because I'm sure I've seen his story about being the oldest guy in England playing rugby many times. I just think he just keeps on going. But hey. But
anyway,
young fellas, doesn't it, to put the boots back on?
Drew by 8. There you go. I'll say the Drew by 8.
Oh, okay, pretty good. And then we round out the round with the Force back home after their road trip, taking on the Chiefs. And well, the interesting thing is, in the Chiefs side, Damian McKenzie has been pushed out of first 5 to fullback.
Well, they don't want a human turnstile at number 10, do they?
Well, Jacob's been playing well. I mean, Leroy Carter, he's off the wing and back into the centres. Narawa, he's just signed himself a new 3-year contract, hoping to get into the World Cup. Nanai Satoro, well, he's just playing now for the Czech because he's off. But
how's Carter going to go at centre? That's interesting.
It is interesting, but it is also interesting because, you see these guys and, you got Carter, Nanai Saturo, and company, all from the sevens team, Narawa, right? And, of course, they're just earning more money now playing 15s than the silly, stupid 3-team World Series sevens. But Leroy Carter, for me, has been good. I mean, out of Thames Valley, he has played there. So before he went to Waikato or Bay of Plenty.
But playing at centre and playing on the wing are two different positions. I mean, he's been outstanding on the wing, but moving in at centre, he has to do different things. We've seen that with Rico Ioane, right? There's a different set of skills you need there. Is Carter up to it? I've never seen him play centre. I don't know if he has or not, but that will be interesting.
Because talking about Rico Ioane, I can tell you this now, if you saw the socials last night with his photo about being taken to court over an assault on a lady in Ireland, shit, he's going to make a shitload of money because it wasn't even him. It was the guy he was standing beside.
Oh, no. Oh, getting back to this match, I mean, that's a pretty experienced Western Force midfield, going up against. So it'll be interesting to see how they handle Carter, really. The one thing I've noticed about the Force backline, they haven't been doing what a lot of the Kiwi teams have been doing. That and this is where the Crusaders have been getting caught out. If you notice the defensive lines, there's all this rush up in midfield and leave a gap out wide. It's been happening quite a bit. The Force haven't been doing that. The Force have been playing old school, like when we were playing, where you all come up in a line and you all go back in a line, and that might be because of Bridge and Beale bringing them up, bringing them back, because Bridge and Beale aren't rushing up. And I just wonder if someone like Carter, who's been a winger, played at centre, because I remember that myself, might rush up, because when you're on the wing, sometimes you're the last guy, you rush up on the wing. Wings that go to centre sometimes rush up and leave a gap, leaving a gap for someone like Bridge or Beale. Boom. Don't know. It'll be interesting. And then you've got Ben Donaldson, who's no mug at 10 either. He's a good player. That's a Western Force at home again. They'll have the crowd behind them. They've got a pretty good team there. Champion De Crespity, he's been impressive.
Yeah, and of course, he's playing for his life too, to get back into the good books of the Wallabies coaching team, because, a couple of guys from the other teams are sort of put their noses in front of them. And the other thing is, good morning to Clarence. Glad you're watching. But the thing is, with Curtly Beale and George Bridge in the centres there, man, you've got some experience there, haven't you? And that's the difference, I think, is the difference of those two guys.
Because they'll be running that midfield defence, and they'll be running. It'll be interesting, and they're at home, so they'll know. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Plus, there's been a noise coming out of the Waikato the last couple of years in big games as well. So, they're a bunch of chokers, the Chiefs, when it comes to the big games. So they're probably choking this one.
Well, last week when they got beaten was only like the 5th time out of 25 matches they've lost, and all the other games have been finals. I can't see them being in the final this year. They might come back and bite me on the arse. 38 minutes in episode 16. But,
chokers.
I think the Force at home after a road trip and time with the family will get their juices, blood flowing a bit, and they'll want to put it on. I'm going to go the Force to win this late, and I think they might win by 6 points, or even actually I'll say 8 points, because then that will be a disaster for the Chiefs if they can leave Australia without a point, not even a bonus.
Yeah, I was going to say 9 so they don't get a bonus point, because Donaldson's a good kicker. I reckon Donaldson will put them over the top.
But it does have to make you think. They were under the posts last week against the Brumbies, and McKenzie, all fair and goodness to him, he was in the pocket from outside the 22 to within 5 meters of the post. He was sitting in the pocket. Why did they? It was 26-24, a minute to go. Why did they not go for that drop goal?
Because it's not in the Kiwi DNA to do a drop goal, is it? We're not Welsh. You know what I mean? If there was a Welshman, he'd have hit a shot. But we just don't seem to be. And it's not just McKenzie, it's everyone. How many Kiwi first fives in the last 20 years would think, I'm in the pocket, take a drop kick? Nah. I thought we'd learnt that after the World Cup when we should have taken drop kicks. Well, no, I don't think so. I mean, you go back, probably the last first five we had doing that would have been Mertens, who would think, oh, I'm in the pocket, I'll take a drop kick. But everyone else, since then, it's first instinct, pass the bloody thing, or kick it. Do a Bowden Barrett and play force back, It's just... You're right. Right. It's not just McKenzie. I've seen a lot of first fives in the competition sitting in the pocket, and you go, have a shot, and they won't do it.
Oh, I know. It is crazy. But, that's all... it's sort of like... I don't know.
Yep.
But anyhow, don't forget to join us on TikTok. We're almost at 100 followers now, and we're getting likes and people liking what we're posting there. So I'm not doing any dancing, unfortunately, because I'm not a good dancer. But otherwise, what we do have to talk about now is I'll give you Rocket FM another shout out for those that have joined late. But what have we got here? on Tuesday, I showed you the NPC logo.
Is it going back to be called the NPC again, is it?
Well, it's always been the NPC, but
yeah,
as I said, if you look at that, at least there's a bit of a throwback to the way they had an NPC logo a few years ago with the old Air New Zealand and the guy running with the ball. But 50 years, quite plain, isn't it, to celebrate 50 years? Yep. So anyway, we all knew that the draw was dropping last night, and I thought, okay, let's see what we can end up with. Really?
Yep. They give some kid some crayons and a ruler, and he's just gone and drawn a whole lot of lights. That's what it looks like.
I know. So at the moment, we still don't have a sponsor for the NPC. We still don't have a sponsor officially for the Heartland Championship. We officially don't have a sponsor for the Farah Palmer Cup.
Yeah.
So what they say is, okay, now when you look at this one that came up, you do see the Highland, the Mid Canterbury taking on the Swamp Foxes there. You do see the Farah Palmer Cup girls. You do see the NPC. Okay, now there's a nice picture, you know, zapping and all that. But to put it into a logo, because then we get that, right? NPC draw. Okay, this is but how many teams are in the NPC?
How many teams?
Yeah.
It's 14, isn't there?
Well, how many shields do you count there?
I know.
Exactly. You've got Mid Canterbury there, you've got West Coast there, you've got
are they changing the NPC back to 3 divisions and we don't know about it?
Wow. Is that something it's not happening this year, but is that a nod to the future? And then as you can see, they've got the Rugby Cup embossed on the shield. From what I've heard, that logo they're going to emboss the old Heartland logo with Lahula and Meads holding the trophy, and then something for the Farah Palmer Cup. But you know, you look at it, and I mean, it does look like someone's just gone on to ChatGPT. But one thing I have noticed in this draw, so round 1 kicks off in July. We've got Waikato taking on Bay of Plenty. Yeah, great. It's sort of like a battle between the two. We've got Canterbury taking on Auckland down there at the new stadium, which will be a huge turnout. You got Southland taking on Otago even. Counties taking on Taranaki. Wellington taking on Hawke's Bay. A couple of good, derby matches. Yep. And then you move on to onto round 2, and we've got North Harbour Counties, another derby, and Auckland, Wellington, yeah, traditional. Okay, Otago, Canterbury, another traditional. The reason I'm just quickly running through these is you can see these on our Facebook page. But, you know, you look and you go, okay, and then it's a bit of a switch around. But going through the whole draw, right? I'm just flicking through because there's too many games to look at. Why is Canterbury not playing Tasman?
Yeah, I know. Look, everybody should be playing everybody else. That's how it should go, right?
This is what they do, and sure they have turnarounds and all that in Heartland. We know that. Heartland got no money, right? And I can understand that. Heartland's over 8 rounds.
Yeah.
But why are they not playing everybody? That is the
exactly.
question that has to be asked.
I know. You'd expect Canterbury and Tasman would play each other because it could serve as a Crusaders trial for the following season, couldn't it? But, you know, hey, the NPC used to be a straight round robin. Everybody played everybody once, and that was how it worked. Why they're not doing that now, I don't know. It's been a couple of years like that, Rabs.
I know. And I'll just bring this up because I do know the dates. In September, it was this game here where North Harbour play Canterbury, right? And Tasman go to play Auckland. Or it could have been the following week because I haven't actually seen the correct dates yet. Canterbury taking on Southland and Tasman taking on Bay of Plenty. But Canterbury are taking on Southland, right? Let's just say it's that weekend, the 26th of September. Only because I have seen a draw. The four Heartland teams are playing on the same day. They had the opportunity to play at one stadium, having a Crusaders franchise day, where they could have all been there, had the Heartland 2 games for Heartland there. I won't mention the teams because it hasn't been released yet, but the four Heartland teams playing, then the Canterbury team playing Tasman.
Well, you think, you're right. You did right. If it was a Crusader, you could do exactly Canterbury, Tasman, your Mid Canterbury, South Canterbury, West Coast, and Buller could all play there. That's the franchise. That's the whole franchise, right? And you could be doing it in Otago as well. You know, Southland Otago with North Otago playing someone. It's not hard to do. The former national stadium, Auckland versus counties, and you could have Thames Valley and whoever else is in the Blues franchise. You know.
I know. I mean, they're wanting to bring all these people back, and Clarence has asked, are they doing this with the Heartland competition? The Heartland draw, I don't know exactly when it's coming out, but I have seen the draw, Clarence, and what I can say is that there is, how can I put it, a lot of earlier games in the day, so the guys can get home on the same day. So that's going to make some interesting results where they fly in and play a game, fly out.
Well, I mean, the interesting thing about that, of course, is if this fuel thing goes on, not just the Heartland, but the NPC as well, it's going to affect teams going away and playing each other.
And they can't take a ferry.
No, but you might have to, like you say, you may have to regionalise it more. Instead of Southland playing Canterbury, maybe they got to play Tasman, and Mid and South can play together. Who knows how long this goes on? And if the airlines start, and I know because I'm in the aviation industry, the airlines start pulling back on flights because of the shortage, because airlines overseas are bidding on the fuel and getting all the fuel, right? I mean, you may not be able to travel, NPC or Heartland, so it could be very interesting.
I'll let you comment on that.
Well, yeah, why not? Yeah, hey, I don't disagree, Clarence. I mean, Marlborough and Nelson Bay should be two separate teams. I always thought they should be, but obviously it works. Obviously with Tasman it works.
I know, but the thing is, we all know what's happening. I mean, the only people that will be probably going, oh, we're okay, and that will be the boys at Ngāti Pro East Coast, because they can just jump on their horses and ride to the game.
Well, might be a few more people having to do that, mate.
Or even worse, the Canterbury guys will just jump on the back of their sheep like they do every weekend.
And the Waikato guys will be on the back of their cows.
Well, as one chap has already said online, the price of petrol, and then at the bottom he's got sheep pellets, $3 a kilo, and he's got a donkey thing, a feed in front of a sheep, and he's sitting on the back of a sheep with handlebars, and he's just got to fill up his sheep for $3 a kilo. So
yeah,
it is something that has to be looked at, though. Yeah, the fuel, because it is a fuel crisis. We both lived through the 70s.
I mean, yeah, and I mean the thing is right. If it becomes a crisis where there's fuel shortage, the government, regardless of who they are, is going to say, well, is a rugby team travelling to another town essential travel, whether it be by plane or bus? I mean, they're going to say that, aren't they? So we need to be aware that the NPC and the Heartland
are way down the picture.
While you've got a draw, it's dodgy that they might even, play because, Yeah.
I mean, we're not trying to be sort of dramatic people here, but we're just looking at it because we've also been through COVID.
Yeah. Well, it might be a case of, as I say, regional teams playing each other, because you can get to them. I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen, but I don't think the orange bloody buffoon's going to get this sorted out. this crappy started sorted out, Iran's going to keep going. So whether or not the fuel gets through, and from what I've been hearing, other countries are bidding on some of the fuel, like the Avgas, and outbidding Air New Zealand and other people. I mean, today Jetstar said that they're canning some Auckland Christchurch flights because of the fuel.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you know.
And Clarence literally took the words out of my mouth before we started talking about the world affairs. But the whole point of rugby is the aftermatch.
Yep, I know.
Right. You know, the aftermatch. It's sort of like, you know, he's saying, oh, you know, costs to travel. That is why they're doing this let's get back in the day rubbish.
The problem with the Sunday morning travelling back, though, is there's very few flights on a Sunday morning, and a lot of them have been canned because of the fuel. So what do you do?
I know, and that's the point, though. But, you know, one of the great things about going playing at Whakarua Park at Ruatoria is the aftermatch feed.
Yeah, it's part of the
sport. The only reason the guys want to go.
It's part of the sport, the aftermatch. If you don't have that, I know it's ridiculous, but you've got corporate people running the union now. That's the way it is.
Unless you lose your license like the mighty Johnsonville Hawks, and they've just moved their club rooms to the local pub. But I was just saying the other day, it's not the same. You watch a game of rugby, you walk in because you're in your finest Saturday garb, right? Watching a game of rugby, and you go and have a beer. If you go to a pub, it's like going out. You know what I mean? And are you supporting the club by going to a pub?
Yep.
I don't know whether or not the pub's giving Javel any cut of the take after a game. If they do, well done, good on them. I'm not mentioning them because they haven't paid me to mention their pub name. But the thing is, you know, it's what the clubs also need and the unions need in the aftermatch to pay for the union. I mean, they literally, you see their spreadsheets every year, how much their bar takings were, right? How much profit did they make from the bar takings and the aftermatch? You knock that on the head, there's another funding cut to the Heartland teams.
Yeah, I know. They don't seem to care about Heartland. It's kind of like, it's a necessary thing we have to have, but put them over here in the corner because it's all corporate commercial stuff, you know. Remember 30 years ago, which will be a good lead-in for you for something we're about to talk about. 30 years ago, before the game went professional, I remember having this conversation with you when I was still a player and a club official, and I said, the professionalism might be good for the game at the top, but it's going to the clubs and the Heartland provinces are going to struggle because it's all the money at the top. Because as soon as you get that in there, someone needs to create a job for themselves instead of just having a chairman of the board. Now we need a CEO and a commercial manager and a communications manager, and all those people have to be paid. So we don't need to pay Heartland to travel because we've got 5 people here that need to be paid. That's your problem.
Yeah. And also on top of that, when I started doing all the Heartland teams, who I only work for one now, but when I was doing them all, I have been replaced by people who are charging 3 times more than I did. And the only reason I didn't charge what I charged was so I could save that union money.
Yep, exactly.
Because I knew. And I thought, okay, well, I've got, at one point I had 8 unions on my books. I could be sitting here a millionaire now. But what happens? I finally got paid yesterday by Mark Zuckerberg. So thank you. Yeah. So it does work when you monetize your Facebook page.
That's suck.
I got $200 and it's all gone on to pay for my power. So in one door and out the other. Or maybe paying for 3 litres of petrol now. I don't know. But to end the show, though, there is a reason why we're both wearing the greatest rugby jersey ever created.
Collector's items.
Yeah, for all those people that want game-worn jerseys,
yep,
these would be bloody right up there with the 1905 bloody All Blacks. But we are updating the World Fantasy Rugby database, and only because someone said to me, "Oh, I'm thinking of getting Cooper Grant," I went, "Oh shit." So I double-checked my database that had over 10,500 names and realised I didn't have Cooper Grant in my database.
To be fair, though, I think he's just started playing rugby, hasn't he? I mean,
yeah. So I've been, over the last few days, just going through all the major competitions around the world, and everyone is there who we had, but we have added about another 1,500 to 2,000 players. I have been congratulated by ChatGPT for building this database, who have said from the AI machine, this is going to be the most complex, up-to-date, fully Yahoo'd rugby union database that has ever been produced.
Yeah, but don't believe AI on everything.
ChatGPT, that was nice to me. I said thank you, and it said you're welcome. So hey, I've got a relationship with it now. Don't tell the wife. But the thing is, the great thing about what WFR is we've guessed about what the salary cap should be. This has told me what the salary cap should be. So if I had a guy for $1 million WFR salary cap dollars, it's actually said, oh, they're actually worth 2.6 million. So we are going to be looking at that. We will look at what the salary cap will be, because I'll make up a fake team just to see how much it comes to.
The big thing about WFR, though, to explain it to everyone, is it's unique amongst all the fantasy rugby things, right? You play these ones online now, and everybody can have. Let me bring my one up, for example. If I bring up Super Brew and I look at my team, I might look at my Super Rugby team here. Let's have a look at my Super Rugby team, right? So I've got the starting 15 there, and I've got Max Jorgensen in it. But everybody can have Max Jorgensen. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. WFR was unique. You picked a player, he was in your team, right? And there was none of this when you go and look at the guys, they ran like, 3 meters so they get 2 points, and they got a yellow card so they get -1. None of that crap. It was it's still unique amongst fantasy rugby. There's no one has ever done what you did in 1996 with fantasy rugby. No one. No. So it's a unique game. It's completely different to fantasy rugby. You actually have to manage your team. These ones here where, you manage it. You don't really. You just, it's 5 minutes. This one, you've got to think about your lineups. You've got those 30 players. Those players are yours. If I pick Max Jorgensen in the draft, you're not getting him, right? It's unique. And that's what makes it different. That's what made it different. In the early days of computer, that's why it was so cool.
Yeah. And now with technology, what we will be doing is, as I said, drop us a message if you want to apply to have your team, because your team's got to be real in name, i.e. where you're from. Even if you're not from, if I was picking a team and I'm here in Wellington and I wanted my team to be in the Hawke's Bay, you call it the Hawke's Bay something, or the Hastings something, or the Napier something, right?
Yeah, none of these stupid ass names that people do with their fantasy rugby. Leave that with Super Brew.
Yeah, and because, my team is the Wellington Dolphins, that's locked and loaded. You're from the Canterbury region, you're the Peninsula Whalers because they were based out of Akaroa, right? Banks Peninsula. So that was allowed. So we do have movement on what you call your team, But if you call it John Scones 15, think again, We've had South Africans with South African team names. The Transvaal Lions, the Durban Sports Club. James McLean from England. He had the Tunbridge Wells Trolls from London.
That's right, he did too. Yeah, James.
And the boys from Scotland and America. Our good friend Benson Hendricks. He had the New Mexico Diablos.
That's right.
Based out of Albuquerque and stuff like that. So really to think about what your team name's going to be, because it is fun. And because what we'll be doing is we'll still be doing the original text format so you can see, but we will also be bringing you all virtually live. Yep. So you'll see your team colours running out on your field and stuff like that. And because I know now with the way technology is, if your business is wanting to be involved, drop us a line, because we can add your business details to billboards and to the ground pitch, so you get a lot more coverage for your bang for your buck. We did a thing a couple of years ago for a company called Flight Coffee, who make coffee, and they paid us some money to put their logo on the pitch, and for a whole season it was brought to you by Flight Coffee. They were our major sponsors. So, you know, it's just a way to get your business out there, to show you support rugby. But the great thing is, as I've said, once we get all these players all done and everyone goes, oh, what's the point? I wanted Will Jordan. If we have enough teams and enough people wanting to play, we can create a parallel universe and rinse and repeat. But with different team names and all that. And then what could happen is we could end up having our own little Super Bowl between two universes. And you could have Will Jordan playing against Will Jordan. But I've trained Will Jordan to be this sort of player. You have trained Will Jordan to be this sort of player. So we could have two totally different Will Jordans playing against each other.
See, that's weird. We never had the parallel universe before. But you're right. It's
we can run a parallel universe.
Let's just get the first universe sorted first.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to sort out the first universe. And as I said, by the time we go to draft, I'm hoping to have about 15,000 players from 70 countries for you to choose from. Even players from Saudi Arabia. How about that?
So just getting, you know, I kind of been with Rabs on this journey all the way from the beginning, and he talked about it the other day with me, and I sort of said to him, he talked about a draft, and I said, let's copy the NFL draft. So let's have you have a 7-round draft, you'll have to randomize who picks. Obviously, in coming years, the team who finishes last gets first pick, but this year, randomize everybody. You have 7 rounds, and then after you've picked your 7 rounds of players, there'll be, like in the NFL, there's free agency. Then you pick up guys from free agency. And again, each one's an individual. So, I might want that free agent. Tough luck, Rab's got him. You know, but you've got to work in this fantasy rugby. It's not just about putting names down. You've got to train guys up. There'll be injuries. You'll have to get guys out, replaced, and you know, it's a unique experience and fun.
And then on top of all of that, talking about injuries, and if a player retires, say Will Jordan says, I've had enough. And you've got Will Jordan in your team. He leaves. And you have to go to the free agency to pick up a new player. If a player gets injured and he has to retire, he's gone.
Yep.
The only difference is when we go to play our international matches, which is also a bit of fun. You can pick anyone you like. You can be Dave Rennie. But the only rule is, if a guy like Aaron Smith or Brodie Retallick or Sam Cane have said, I'm still playing rugby, but I'm no longer playing international rugby, you cannot beat him. You cannot pick him.
The difference is
your club side, but you can't pick him for your international side. So
difference with our international sides too, there's not contracted players that we have to play.
Well, it's all based on form now.
It should, and so it should, but we'll see. We'll see. And our last thing before we do leave everyone back to their lunch or trying to feed their horses or sheep so they can go down to the dairy. Exactly.
Are we going to see an All Black trial?
Well, this is what I talked about with you the other day, isn't it? Rennie's come out and said, I'm picking on form. So if you're picking on form, just like the likes of John Hart, Laurie Mains, Alex Wiley, Fred Allen, let's go back in time. They all had an All Black trial. They got their form players and put them in a trial and picked them, didn't they? Was none of this, here's the contracted players and you've got to play them. So let's see. Let's see if this is based on form. Ruben Love is the All Black first 5'8".
Yeah.
If he's going to be picking on form. But I have my doubts that he'll be able to pick on form because Razor said the same thing and so did Fozzie, and look what happened.
Yeah. So there you go. That's something for everyone to think about. I'll get you to stay on the line because I don't have to get to see you. We'll be back on Tuesday to hopefully by then we'll have news about they'll probably drop the Heartland Championship at 10 o'clock on Friday night. You know what I mean? So everyone doesn't even know it's there. But we've got it all stuck and ready to go for at our end. So we'll have all that draw for you coming up very shortly, hopefully. But otherwise, until Tuesday, thank you, Rhodey. And I'll just stay in the studio until we finish, and then we'll catch us all on Tuesday.
See you, Mike.
Yep, see you, Mike. Catch you on the flip side. Later.